All right, what's up? Welcome to Fumble Fever. I'm Micah,
I'm Dylan.
and we got a big week ahead of us. A lot of games to get to, so we're going to go ahead and push right to it. Starting out in the West, we got USC taking on Arizona State. Two teams that have both been up and down so far this season. Both teams have entered into the top 25 at least at one point in this season and fell out of it. And which one you said?
I think Arizona State. They've been in there.
Been in there twice.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah,
USC
and
once.
fell out twice. So it should be a pretty good game in the Pac-12. Who you got?
I got Arizona State. Their defense is just a little bit better than USC's offense, I think.
Okay.
And I just don't think that USC's offense is going to keep up with Arizona State's
Defense.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Arizona State's defense is good, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually Kaelon Slavis and USC pull out the air raid attack against Arizona State that Arizona State's not exactly used to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that factor gets them just a little bit off of their mojo just enough that if USC can come out and punch hard and punch early and start eating away at the deficit and maybe get a big maybe 7 or 10 points, if they can get up just enough, then they can keep it up long enough throughout the game to get a win. So I'm going to go opposite with you, and I'm going to go with USC. But if we flip it over to the back to the East Coast, there's some teams that have been rising the ranks here recently, and one team that used to be made fun of for so long that it seems weird having them ranked now.
Very weird.
Very weird. We have Wake Forest taking on Virginia Tech. Number 19, Wake Forest, by the way.
Yeah, I got Wake Forest big. They're going to make a statement, I think.
Really?
Right before the Clemson game.
Okay.
Probably 30 or 40 points at least. They're going to win by.
Well, I do not feel the same way, even remotely close to you on this. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's no doubt in my mind that this is probably going to be a close game. There's also no doubt in my mind I think Wake Forest wins the ball game because their offense is incredible. They do 90 plays per game, and that's hard to keep up with. Virginia Tech, though, they just have that sneaky history in the past of being with going toe-to-toe, especially with Wake Forest, throughout the past decades, to where whatever reason it is, no matter who's favored in that game, Virginia Tech somehow finds a way to win.
I mean, just about everybody is favored in front of Wake Forest, like in the past.
In the past, true. That's true.
They've been good since like the early 2000s.
So it feels weird seeing them back to good again. But there's going to be a lot of overlooking, I think, in this game, because they are playing Clemson next week. That there's going to be it's going to be a lot for Wake Forest to try and handle, to try and overcome. So because of that, I see a 4-quarter game. I hope, though, for Wake Forest's sake, that they're able to get this win, because interesting fact that a lot of people may not realize is that as long as Wake Forest wins this game, then Wake Forest will be in a position next week with only one loss to where the winner of that Wake Forest Clemson game wins the Atlantic. Yeah. So this is a big game. This is a very important game for Wake, and something that hopefully that they don't overlook. I've liked what I've seen in Wake throughout the past few years, especially with their coach, Jimmy Clausen. I think he's done a phenomenal job over there. He's really built their guys up, and hopefully they'll be ready for this game.
Is the game at Clemson, or is it at Wake Forest?
It's at Clemson, so that's a big factor. It's going to make it so much harder for Wake Forest to try and get that win.
If they do win this game, do you think college game day is going to be there?
I hope so. I remember telling you this way in the beginning of the season about the possibility of Wake Forest
being undefeated.
Undefeated or close to it coming into that game, because I had been liking what I was seeing, and so far they haven't given me any reason to disappoint. I just really have something churning in my gut that they might blow it to Virginia Tech. I'm going with my brain, though, and I'm going to pick Wake Forest because of that. And there's another team, though, that was rising the ranks and had a good possibility of they would have still been ranked now. if they hadn't blown it last week. And that's Appalachian State. A lot of people that have been looking at the non-Power 5 schools haven't paid any attention too much to Appalachian State. They were just kind of quietly rising up. And
Yeah, everybody was watching SMU.
SMU, yep. Just like me and
Boise
you were,
State, yeah.
Boise State. And now that both of them have fallen, that was Appalachian State's chance. They've fallen too. And it looks like it's kind of gone perhaps back to Memphis for being the best of the non-Power 5 and getting to that New Year's 6 bowl game. But anyways, Appalachian State is going to be taking on a hometown team about an hour and a half away in Columbia for the Gamecocks. How do you see that game going?
It's gonna be a tough battle for South Carolina. It's gonna be a fourth quarter game,
Yeah,
just like most of the games this year for South Carolina.
right.
I think they're gonna pull this one out though. 5 points sounds about right.
You think South Carolina's going to pull this
Yeah,
one out?
yeah. South Carolina's gonna win. I think their defense is just good enough to pull it out. I'll probably win by 7 points.
Okay.
I give them the spread.
Yeah, I could give them the spread too. I think this is going to be a lot of people's upset picks this week. Most definitely.
Most people.
Yeah, a lot of people, just because you got one team in Carolina that's trending down, and Appalachian State, well, they were trending up, had a down week last week with that
Still
loss.
a very good season for them.
It was a great season.
For Appalachian State.
And it's just another one of those things, again, similar to Wake Forest, who used to be Weak Forest. You go to Appalachian State, and while they do have a history of beating
Big
tough teams like such as
Michigan.
Michigan in 2006, they still have that small town reputation, little school of when you go into this game, this is not a game that not only that you shouldn't lose, but that you shouldn't even be close to losing. And it seems odd to see South Carolina at only a 5-point favorite. I think if we would have started at the beginning of this season, there's no way we would have said that when we got to this game that South Carolina would be a 5-point favorite. But this is a game that South Carolina actually needs
Oh yeah, definitely.
just to get to a bowl.
Yeah, they need 2 more wins.
Yeah, 2 more wins, which is going to be tough.
Yeah, 'cause they
considering
gotta-
it's Appalachian State and Texas A&M.
Yeah, they got to go to Texas A&M
Yeah,
too.
and at Texas A&M.
And it's a night game too,
Mhm.
which makes it even harder.
It absolutely makes it harder. So it's a lot on the line here for South
So
Carolina.
it's a must win.
Yeah, absolutely
week.
a must win, because if they don't win this game, they're not
Yeah,
going to a bowl,
no.
because I don't see any foreseeable reason that they beat Clemson. The only
No.
way it's just the mere fact of rivalry,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. But
Yeah, pretty much.
I really can't see that happening, even at South Carolina.
It would have to be like a Georgia game for us for Carolina to pull that
Right,
upset.
right. That's absolutely right.
4 turnovers.
Probably, yeah. You're right about that. Even though we saw, it'd probably be worse than that, because thinking back, when Clemson played Louisville, they had probably I think 4 turnovers, still won 45-10. You gotta bring the whole kitchen
Yeah,
sink.
that is true. Yeah.
When you're playing a top 5 team, any of the top 5 teams right now. But speaking of top 5 teams, we have some phenomenal matchups going on forward, and one of them at number 4 is facing another small school that we're not used to winning in Minnesota, who is sitting at number 17 in the nation right now. They actually have a legit chance to win the Big Ten West and end up playing either Ohio State or Penn State in the championship game. Because as of right now, with Wisconsin having 2 losses, Minnesota has to lose.
Yeah.
Well, I would say lose twice, but I believe Minnesota plays Wisconsin.
Yeah, they do. Because I think they're in this.
Yeah, they're in the same. They're both in the
Same-
West. So
yeah.
Minnesota, all Minnesota has to do is win one of these next couple of games, either Penn State or Wisconsin. If they beat Wisconsin, they're
in.
already in. But they have a chance like no other. And I've been high on Minnesota throughout this whole year. I'm glad to see them undefeated and doing well and proving me right so far. You see, though, any foreseeable reason that Minnesota is able to pull out a huge upset? They are at home.
That's pretty much the only reason I'm going to give them a benefit of the doubt that they could win. Because home advantage always helps.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Absolutely.
And I like the defense too.
Yeah.
You know I love defense.
Yeah, we both do. We both played defense at high school. So,
but I think Penn State's gonna pull away. Probably late third, early fourth.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Probably 10 points.
Yeah, I don't want this to. My only fear is that Minnesota loss takes away somehow from the hype.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to take away from some of the hype because it's great what they've been able to accomplish this season. You can't have a loss to Penn State, especially if it's a close loss. Let anyone jump off of that bandwagon because I'm not going to jump off with a loss. They're going to have to lose by a lot more than that.
Penn State's a really good team.
Penn State is a great team who, by the way, sitting at number 4
ahead of Clemson, which
I don't
think they should be, but
that's another I actually could see that. I could see that for Penn State because I think Penn State's body of work is better than Ohio State's, who's sitting at number 1 for whatever reason. I really don't know.
I think LSU should be number 1.
LSU should hands down be number 1,
so are you saying that Penn State's better than Clemson? Or are you just saying their body of work is better?
Their body of work.
Just their body of work?
Their body of work.
So if they play...
If it came down to the game, I would go with Clemson over Penn State. But Penn State's body of work is better than Clemson's, so is LSU's. But I don't believe that Ohio State or Alabama's body of work is.
Okay. So who do you have for the game?
For the game, I have Penn State. I have
okay.
Penn State getting this because it's just a little too much for Minnesota to handle. But like you said, being at home... That's going to help a lot, and that's probably what's going to cause this game to be running into the fourth quarter and having everybody flip over their TVs to say, like, hold up, like, might be a big upset here. Like, see if we can watch history go down. But I am going to go with Penn State. Now, we were speaking a little bit about LSU, and we've been talking about LSU all season because of everything that they've been able to accomplish. They are at number 2, should be at number 1. They're playing number 3, Bama. This is every year the game of the century. It is, again, a lot of playoff indications on the line.
I mean, they are number 2 and number 3 just about every year playing each other.
Right. They're always in the top 5, both teams, it seems. A lot of feelings around the country that LSU, that this is the time, this is their year. I think
now or never.
Or never. Are you feeling that way?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
LSU hasn't beat Bama in 8 years?
Yep, 8 years.
2011?
That's right.
I think they do it this time. It's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
I see probably about 24-21 maybe.
Yeah.
It's going to go in the fourth quarter, just like most of the games.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that completely. It's going to be a heck of a game to watch.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
Oh, it's a must-watch. Do you know if it's a 3:30 kick?
3:30.
It's 3:30 kick, which kind of surprised me a little bit. But
and what's surprising is LSU isn't favored in this game. That's what I.
Yeah.
And it's at Alabama too.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That's normally what swings it.
Yeah, that is what typically swings it. I'm going to go with LSU as well. I said more than enough throughout the course of this season as to why I'm going with LSU.
Yeah, I love Joe Burrow.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. And he's still on his way to a possible Heisman candidate. He has not really had a week so far where he's slipped, which is just as surprising to me. Tua, I've just read recently, earlier today, is better, getting good. According to Saban, he's going to play. Yeah, he's going to play. Which, like we discussed, he's got to get in there.
Yeah, he's going to play. He's going to play no matter if he's 50% or 100%.
Right, they could take him up, shoot him up. Do everything they can. They're going to get out there because it's a whole other team without Tua. I was able to notice that in the Tennessee game. 100%.
Way closer than it should have been.
Oh yeah, way closer than that game should have been. This game though is going to come down to the wire. And I think, I'm feeling this LSU actually gets a win. I really feel it this time. There's a lot of years throughout the past where I've said LSU was going to win, mostly because I got tired of seeing Bama win so much. And I would say that on different teams, many different teams that were facing Bama, but never really felt it. I really feel like this is LSU's time. And hands down, obviously, I would think anyways, if LSU wins this game, they're definitely number one. They jump everyone and they're set for the rest of the season.
Because they played Auburn, which is a top 10 team at the time.
Yeah, at the time.
They played Florida.
Florida, yep.
And if they beat Bama,
that'd be three.
That'd be 3 top 10 teams.
And then they also played Texas, who was up in the polls at the time that they played them, which is
right now they don't really look like a top 10 team right now.
No, it's not gonna look that way right now. Well, they're not a top 10 team right now, and they shouldn't be a top 10 team the way that they've been playing. No, but absolutely, LSU would be number one. The crazy thing is here, though, and interesting scenario, if LSU didn't win, if Bama won, then we would have a case where if Bama won and if Penn State won, to where nobody in the top 5 got eliminated after all these games, and we're still sitting at square one because we have.
But the thing is, it always works itself out, though, at the end of the year.
We say it does,
people always freak out about it.
Well, I mean, people were still freaking out about it. I remember a couple of years ago, when Georgia got left out, and Kirk Herbstreit stands up and just walks away from the table after the announcement because it seems every year there's always that 5, that 6. Everybody's like, no, they should be in instead, and there's all this long controversy, and I'm certain that'll happen again this year. And I mean, we'll see what happens, but it's just the type of talent that's 1 through 5 right now is amazing to me because it's way better than anything that I've seen in years past. Way better.
It's more evenly balanced.
Yeah, it's evenly balanced. It's competitive. It's not set in stone even this far in the season.
Like the last 4 years where it's just Alabama and Clemson.
Absolutely, and that's what's good for college football.
That's what keeps everybody watching.
Absolutely, that's what. Yeah, that is what keeps everyone watching, and it's something to watch for going forward. Another thing, though, that does keep everybody watching is upsets. We have some upset specials as we try to do every week. What's yours?
I got Louisville over Miami. Miami's at home, but I still feel like Louisville's offense is too good for them.
You know what? I like that pick. Because anytime anybody picks anybody over Miami, I like that pick.
Oh, yeah.
Because no matter who it is, there's a good shot that Miami could lose that game. I mean, it could be Bethune-Cookman and.
I mean, I love Miami though.
Why?
Just I always have.
Really?
Yeah, the convicts versus Catholics.
Oh, I honestly didn't know that about you.
Oh yeah.
I've known you for years. I did not know you favored Miami in such a way, but I seem solid. There doesn't really seem to be any reasoning needed to pick that.
And by the way,
on the trend.
And by the way, I'm not a Miami fan. Just throwing that out.
No,
there.
I know you're not a Miami fan, but you've, like other people, enjoyed watching them throughout the years, especially when you remember the past Miami, the good Miami, the hard-nosed early 2000s Miami.
Didn't really get to watch it live, but I saw it on TV.
You're a little young.
Yeah, way young.
Yeah. So I have an upset as well. This might seem a little bit out there because they're a 14-point favorite, this team. I got number 22, Boise State, a 14-point favorite over Wyoming. I'm going to go with Wyoming.
I can see that.
That's what I thought when I was scrolling through.
Is it at Boise State?
It's at Boise State, so it's even better calling this shot if this was to happen. But I'm going to roll with it because Wyoming has a habit of beating good teams, and Boise State's haven't looked great over the past few weeks. Even though I still like Bachmeier at quarterback, I think he's one of the best, most underrated quarterbacks in the country right now. I still just have that feeling.
I haven't really watched much of them, so I can't really have.
Sure. We don't get the pleasure of being able to watch them over in the Mountain West playing every game at 10 o'clock at night, and it's just. It doesn't work out well over here on the East Coast. But if anybody does have a chance to be scrolling through and watch Boise State, or even watch Wyoming, there's two teams that are pretty dang good at times.
No, they beat Missouri.
Yeah, they did beat Missouri.
Wyoming
did earlier in the season. Actually, the very first game of the season. So Wyoming has a shot to try and pull out those upsets. And every now and again, I like to shoot big, and I'm going to shoot big here and go with Wyoming. That's actually going to do it for our show. Make sure you just get on YouTube and subscribe to Fumble Fever on there so you don't never miss a single video. Also, Twitter. I do apologize. I've been away from Twitter for a while, but some new content's going to start going. So go ahead and give us a follow on there. It's Fumble Fever as well. We thank you so much for your support. And, yeah, thanks.
Thank you.